It's exactly 8 o'clock in the morning. And we're inside now of an hour brought to you courtesy of Law Insurance Brokers. And as they say, one call for all insurance. And you can get them today on 876-968-1100. It is overcast in capital city Kingston. And we're starting off this hour with a sponsored segment. It's called Real Estate Today. And the sponsor for that segment is Howard Johnson Realty Limited of unit number 15 in the Ligony Post Mall in capital city Kingston. I like the topic that we'll be looking at today, purchasing your retirement home. I think it's the first time we're actually looking at that subject, that topic, since we started this feature. And you're going to find it very interesting. I have two guests who will be joining me. We're about to introduce them right now. Howard Johnson Jr., who is the CEO of Howard Johnson Realty Limited, is on the telephone, I suspect. Good morning, Mr. Johnson.
Good morning, Richie. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. And how about yourself?
Yeah, man. I'm doing well despite the overcast
conditions.
circumstance.
Yes. And there might be some rain as you head out this morning, but you'll be safe on the roads, all right?
Will do.
And we're also joined, I suspect, by Grants Manager and Financial Empowerment Project Manager at the JN Group, and that is Mrs. Rose Miller. Welcome, Mrs. Miller. How are you today?
I'm good, Richie B. Thank you so much.
All right, wonderful to have you. I think I want to start with you, Mrs. Miller. First of all, as we look at the subject, purchasing your retirement home, when would you say is the ideal time to purchase one's retirement home?
Boy, Richie B., that is such a very personal decision because so much is happening outside of in each person's life. For some persons, it might be your first home, while for others, it might be a second home that you're considering as a retirement home. But you don't want to be doing that too early if you're going to make that move to purchase a retirement home because things can change. So it's not necessarily a good idea to think about it like 20 years in advance or so on, because you may want to look at where you're going to purchase this home and the neighborhood, and is it close to medical facilities? Do you have the right amenities close by? Are you going to need caregiver service? Because retirement nowadays is a long period. People are living longer. So it's not just in your 60s or 70s anymore. It could well be in your 80s or 90s. So you have to think of many things. So you really don't want to do it too early.
Yes.
And then if you wait too late, mortgage is a long experience. 20 years, 10 years, 20 years. So that's long to be paying for mortgage during your retirement, So a lot will depend on what's happening in your own personal space, your own family, and the support systems you have in place.
Would you say that it is important to have a post-retirement budget with a financial advisor telling you how to proceed before you look at purchasing that home?
Definitely, because like I said, you really don't want to be paying mortgage far into your retirement because that could impact on a lot of things. Retirement can also be very uncertain. If you have medical situations, that's going to eat up a lot of your money, which you probably didn't forecast for. So it is definitely a good idea to sit down with somebody to go through that post-retirement budget. And you have to make sure you have some cushion in there for uncertainties.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense.
And also, if you are able to carry tools such as insurance into your retirement, that would be awesome. You get help with medical bills and all of that. Critical illnesses, because people are still developing critical illnesses in retirement. So it's really a lot to consider. So you definitely do need a budget, and it's not just a budget, but you need to be sticking to that budget as much as possible.
Yes.
You need to be carving out space in there and also cutting back so that you are ready and flexible and agile in case you come upon things that you didn't plan for.
Yes, unforeseen circumstances. There's a lot to consider. You said that, and I think Howard would agree with you because I know, for instance, he always talks about location.
Yes.
So I'm asking Howard now, what are some of the factors to consider when choosing a location for your retirement home?
Well, Richie, I'm going to put a little spin on it because retirement almost, when persons consider the topic, they think about aged and frail. I want to look at it as, so suppose somebody wants to go into a home early retirement. They may want to consider views. May want to consider accessibility to beaches, to conveniences, to leisure, that sort of thing, airport. Those are some of the factors that you may want to consider when choosing a location for retirement home. However, the point, as Mrs. Miller mentioned, is that retirement can be a long period. And as it stretches out, there may be complications that come along with that retirement, affordability, access to health care, and so forth. And those are some of the things that you may want to balance your equation if you're thinking about retirement early as opposed to retirement long term. And how do you plan for that one particular home that's going to take you into the views but still accommodate your circumstances later on in your golden years? So it's a balanced approach, and I believe that you have to think about what are your needs. It's a very personal decision. Your family, how they can access you at this location, wherever you are. If it is that in your golden years, you're going to need that sort of companionship or that frequent visit or home care services. Those are some of the factors that I would want to consider. But never forget the enjoyment that you can get from retirement. So views and leisure is also things to consider.
All right. Mrs. Miller, I want to ask you, what are some of the possible implications to consider when assessing the impact that this purchase will have on your taxes?
All right. So there, in retirement, you still are taxable. Above a certain amount of income, you still do have to pay taxes. There are taxes also for the property that you want to purchase. Of course, the more expensive, the more taxes, and so on. But your tax has to also fit in your budget. You can't leave out the tax at all. You can't act as if everything that you're going to get by way of income is going to be tax-free. So that has to be part of the consideration as well when you think about impact on your income.
Would you, as I listen to you, I'm finding it so interesting. Would you have some tips that you want to share in terms of to potential buyers in regards to sort of staying on a budget?
One of the things we can do is, as you get closer to that decision, you probably want to be, or even long before, you probably want to be trimming down on your expenses so that you'll have more for the down payment. Greater the down payment, the less the mortgage is going to be in terms of how much you're going to want to borrow. And then whatever you can do or your family can do in terms of doing it yourself would also be a great idea as well. If you need to be doing any kind of fixing up of this retirement home, because it could be that you need a little fixing up. You want to be going for, of course, suppliers who are more cost effective. And even on the personal level now, you want to be making sure that you're shopping in the best places so you're getting the discounts. You still have to figure out your needs versus your wants. You have to be very careful in how you spend, because for some of us, it will be a situation where you don't have a lot of income coming in.
Right.
It could be, if you play your cards right, that you do have different streams of income coming in retirement, and that is the desirable position.
Right.
Whether from your retirement fund, you could have other real estate, you could have other investments in stocks and shares and so on, and bonds coming in, and you could have different streams. But that is the ideal for some people. That is really not the reality.
For others.
So you want to be making sure you create that budget, you stick to that budget, you're very frugal in how you spend. You do stuff yourself so that you can save, or with family members so you can save. And
those are really excellent tips you have shared with us.
Cut down on your utilities and
All right. Thank you for that, Mrs. Miller. Howard, I spoke to you about location. I wanted to have a quick comment from you about design. What would you say in terms of the design that retirees want to be looking at?
I would suggest simply the more of an open concept that you can have, the better it is for you. It gives you flexibility and it gives you ease of mobility, even if you are compromised in your level of agility.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Howard, you know what? I'm going to take the tip of the day because I think I have something I want to share, and then you take the deal on the edge. Now, the tip that we want to share today is knowing what to look for when buying a retirement home can feel a little overwhelming. Taking the time to think through your current and future needs, as well as the full financial implications of your housing choice, may help you find the right home to call your own while you enjoy your retirement. Almost sound.
Well done, Mickey, well done.
That was the tip of the day. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the deal on the edge. Howard's got it.
This tastefully decorated 1-bedroom, 2-bathroom, fully furnished second-floor apartment features a kitchen with a beautiful black splash and countertop. Condominiums of Jumblair is centrally located within walking distance to the Mega Mart and Waterloo Square, with easy access to New Kingston and Halfway Tree and Barbican. This is where you can find numerous stores and restaurants. This apartment is ready for occupancy, and we're asking you to make it your new home for 2021, if not before. And you may contact Sharon Anderson, or agent, at sharon@hjrealtors.com, Sharon Anderson, or you may call her at 876-321-4044. And we're asking Jamaican $135,000 per month for this unit.
All right. Shouldn't stay on your hands too long. Sharon Anderson, good morning to you. Howie, where can you be found?
Unit number 15, Ligonier Post Mall, 115 Hope Road, Kingston 6. You can call our offices at 876-620-1457. Send us a WhatsApp at 876-339-6282, or just simply visit our website, hjrealtors.com.
And you can always find Mrs. Rose Miller at JN Group. Am I right?
That's correct.
All right. I want to
Foundation.
Fantastic. I want to thank you both for joining me in a very interesting program today, looking at the subject, purchasing your retirement home. And we catch up with you guys again sometime soon. However, for sure, next week, Wednesday. Take care. Have a great day.
Thank you too, Richie.
All right. All the best. This was, of course, Real Estate Today, courtesy of Howard Johnson Realty Limited of unit number 15 in the Ligonier Post Mall in capital city Kingston. Join us again next Wednesday at 8 o'clock when once again we'll present Real Estate Today. It's now 13 minutes after it's really 12 and a half minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock, and we're inside of a special hour brought to you courtesy of Law Insurance Brokers. Call them today on 876-968-1100. Law Insurance Brokers, one call for all insurance. And we are on a break. We'll be right back.